Lots of tension, ladies and gentlemen. No major news in regards to Frenkie De Jong. There may be some bits and pieces. Chelsea fan base, we're getting worried. We're getting worried, and there may be some news that apparently Frenkie De Jong wants to stay. It doesn't make sense to me, but we'll talk about it. And of course, some Fofana information. These are the top two stories that's going on. Let's talk about it.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Look, let's actually take a moment to try and logically understand this. Let's not be emotional about it. Let's figure out what is going on. There are some reports coming out, and then we'll go to the news very soon, that apparently Frenkie De Jong's entourage and Frenkie De Jong himself, they're not keen to leave Barcelona. And it is in a bit of a frustration for all parties involved. Barca, I think, wants him gone. Chelsea, obviously, we want him. Man United are also wanting him. But this particular player seems to be very stubborn and wants to stay at Barcelona, and I don't know why. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. We'll talk from the Barcelona point of view, first of all. Barcelona have about 7 players, I believe, and we'll look into those players in the likes of Frenkie, Christensen, Lewandowski, Jules Koundé, Ousmane Dembele, Rafinha, and I think Sergio Roberto. And don't forget, they're still in the market. Well, apparently the deal is already done with Marcos Alonso, and they still want Bernardo Silva. They've not been able to register these players as yet, and La Liga is just around the corner to start. Now, look, they could very well register all of them. I've got no doubt they'll find a way to do this, but that is still a problem. Till now, it hasn't been done. Apparently, their third or their fourth economic lever that they have triggered will unlock a lot of money, but they still be short of about 150 million euros to, register all of these players, and it's not going to be enough. And Bernardo Silva has been a long-term target for them this particular transfer window, so that ain't going to happen. So something's got to give from that perspective. Looking at from Barcelona's point of view, if they want to do all of these and get Bernardo Silva, they've got to let go of some players, and this is why I guess players like Memphis Depay is probably close to an exit very, very soon. Braithwaite is another one that may leave depending on if he finds a good offer. But the biggest one that they want to get rid of is Frenkie De Jong. And on top of that, from Barcelona's point of view, obviously Frenkie De Jong, he gets insane amount of wages over there, and he's the most marketable, sellable asset for them at the moment, because both Chelsea and Man United are willing to pay somewhere around 80 million euros for him. So they know they're going to be well looked after from that point of view financially, and the wages out of their books will allow them to do all of their business. On top of that, with the players that they already have, Pedri, Gavi, they're bringing in Frenkie. They've already got a lot of attacking, power. And they're adding to that with Rafinha. They've re-signed Dembele as well, Lewandowski. Frenkie De Jong, in this particular transfer window, Xavi has made it clear, you're probably not going to see enough minutes. And in the preseason, there were a couple of times where he was used as a CB. Even in the CB position, they're bringing in Christensen. They've bought Jules Koundé as well. There's no room for Frenkie De Jong. There really isn't any room. So from Barcelona's point of view, it is quite clear. You need to move on, right? You need to move on. Now let's look at from a Frenkie De Jong point of view. This guy, his dream was always to play for Barcelona. No problems, comes from that Ajax academy product, that Cruyff sort of model of football, one-touch football, good vision, technical ability, skyrocketing. So it's understandable that he wants to play for Barcelona. It's, the way Ajax kind of plays, the next evolution to that is Barcelona. He probably would have grown up seeing the great Barcelona teams, in the late sort of 2008, 9, 10 onwards, and then early sort of 2011, 12, sort of those time frame, you would have seen them play. And I can understand you want to play for Barcelona. Fair enough. But surely you should have some sort of pride in yourself. You should have some sort of self-respect for yourself, knowing that this club is literally laying it out there for you that they're not interested to keep you. Do you know what I mean? Like, with all the financial issues, with all the players they're bringing in your position as well, Frank Kessie being one of them, and also in midfield, there's Barcelona stacked. Why do you still want to hang around? And more importantly, they are not willing to give you your deferred wages. They've made it clear. Barcelona will not give you your 17 million pounds that is owed to you. Will not give you that. They will take you to courts. They believe whatever contract you struck during the pandemic in the last presidency is null and void, and they will take you to the court if need be, and put criminal charges on you. Their fans, when you're driving towards the training, for the training session, are screaming out your name and calling you the B word, telling you to take the pay reduction. And the only way you can stick around is if you take a 50% pay reduction. Like, I don't understand from Frenkie De Jong's point of view, what is it that is making you stay there? Like, I could have a dream about playing for a club, but if that club is making it very, very obvious to me that we don't want you, you need to go, and by you going, it opens us up with many different avenues financially, you need to move on. I have self-respect. I'd be like, do you know what? Even though I have dreams of playing for this club, I'm not staying because I'm not respected. I don't get it. And then from a Chelsea and Man United's point of view, you've got clubs that are willing to pay your deferred wages, that are willing to, I'm sure personal terms should not be an issue. Obviously, you're not going to get the wages that you're on in Barcelona, but you'll get a very decent amount of wages nonetheless. Look at some of the players, Raheem Sterling's on 300k, so I'm pretty sure you probably get something around that mark anyway. And we're willing to pay Barcelona whatever they want for your signature. So the matter is very clear to me. You need to move on, and you need to select between Chelsea and Man United. Now, between Chelsea and Man United, it's a no-brainer. We've got Champions League football. You'll be playing Champions League football. You'll be one of the most influential players in midfield. Undoubtedly, in my opinion, for Chelsea Football Club. The face of our midfield will change with a player like Frenkie De Jong. It's insane. For me, it's a no-brainer. And the whole saga is now again frustrating. Again, we're in this scenario with the likes of that, Rafinha situation, Dembele situation, Jules Koundé situation. It's very frustrating. And today, obviously, we've not heard enough from Gerard Romero. Things are very, very quiet. But let's look at the news now. Frenkie De Jong's agents have told Chelsea and Barca not to use intermediaries in talks. Laporta tried to involve Pini Zahavi, which is, I believe, Lewandowski's agent. I'm not really sure why they're using it. I'm not really sure if that's Frenkie De Jong's agent. I don't think so. For now, Frenkie De Jong camp remain clear. They don't intend to move. It's mad. This is from Samuel Marsden, writer for ESPN and Sport. ESPN, they've been coming out saying that Frenkie De Jong doesn't want to move. This is another news that's coming out from Mundo Deportivo. Barcelona and Chelsea have advanced an agreement for the transfer of Dutch midfielder. Of course, depending on the will of Frenkie De Jong. In other words, the situation is now the same as it was a month ago with Manchester United. So we're in the same boat as Manchester United as well now. We've got an agreement with Barcelona. Barcelona wants this player gone. Similar with Man United, they've got an agreement with Barcelona as well. It's just the player is so adamant to stay. I don't really understand it. Now confirmed, the actual amount of cash so this particular news is a few days, about a week ago, but it's still relevant in regards to the registration of Barcelona players. Barcelona is They're having to pull strings from everywhere to make things do. Now confirmed, the actual amount of cash that Barcelona have actually received is currently at 517 million. This is from the latest economic lever that they triggered. From the 667 million, they have calculated a difference of 150 million. This means that registration of signings and any deal for Bernardo Silva is unlikely, and they badly want the registrations done, and they badly want Bernardo Silva. At this time, there are problems for the signature of fourth financial lever for Barcelona. This is actually the latest news. This is a couple of hours ago. 100 million for 24% of Barca Studios. Barca might not be able to register several players by Saturday. Like, that would be a shame, buying all these players and not being able to register. FC Barcelona can officially register some of the new signings, not all 7 though, yet. And don't forget, the 7 doesn't include Alonso as well. Once Barcelona register all signings with final green light coming from La Liga, Marcos Alonso will be sealed as next incoming. There's an agreement in principle with Chelsea since last week. Matter of details, Marcos would sign with Barca until 2024. So this is the other thing. This is a couple of days ago, but same scenario. If those registrations aren't done, well, Marcos Alonso will be. Won't happen. I think the registrations will end up happening, but how will they manage to keep Frenkie De Jong in same wages? And I don't understand why Frenkie De Jong will take a 50% reduction to stay. And what about his deferred wages? Like, it doesn't make sense for Frenkie De Jong one bit. That's the bottom line. La Liga won't allow Barcelona to register their new signings, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Kessié. That's the other one. Kessié, Busquets, Pedri, Gavi. You will not get games in midfield, Frenkie de Jong. Simple as that. And contracts renewal, Dembele, Roberto, until the club raises more funds and balances their book. These are all the players that they need to still register, and I'm pretty sure they will register it. This is Ben Jacobs. Barcelona have reiterated to Frenkie de Jong, he must take a 50% pay cut or leave. They expect decision imminently. They want it today. Threat of legal, so this is latest news, by the way. Threat of legal action against current deal hasn't moved further yet. As reported, CFC optimistic of an 80 million plus deal, but waiting on Frenkie de Jong decision. Barca billing this as a straight choice between Frenkie de Jong taking a pay cut or leaving. Although Juan Laporta has said he'll respect Frenkie de Jong's current deal, Barca maintain they are prepared to challenge in the court. Sources say legal action is a last resort, but more than an empty threat. So even though they're putting it out there about that court case, they won't push it. But it's a valid thing. It's a legitimate thing that if push came to shove, they'll take it to the courts. Chelsea pushing on the player side. They don't want this to drag out, which is getting dragged out now. Barcelona on the same page. It's clear Frenkie de Jong would love to somehow stay, as he's said consistently, but without a pay cut, and he's still reluctant. A move away remains more likely. I mean, honestly, at this point, Frenkie de Jong, seriously, it don't make sense. The total thing don't make sense for you to stick around. Why you still want to stick around? It's mad. So many things are against you. You're not going to get paid your deferred wages. In fact, you'll be taken to court and you will have to take a pay cut. And if you don't want to take a pay cut, well, it's long. It's long. I mean, I want this player, but this player needs to just wake up a little bit and smell the coffee. Here's a little bit about Bernardo Silva. No agreement or close between Barcelona and Manchester City for Bernardo Silva. Silva's open to the move. Juan Laporta told CBS he's a very good footballer, but clubs far apart in valuation, and Silva won't force an exit. Barca would need to pay around 65 million, and they won't be able to do this if they don't get rid of Frenkie de Jong and raise some funds from there. And on top of all the player registrations that they need to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you let me know how you feel about the Frenkie de Jong situation. It's the battle with Barcelona, this transfer window, has not been pretty one bit. And I don't want to go through this again. As much as I would love this player, it's draining. And yeah, I think it's important to get a player like him, but you let me know how you feel. Brendan Rodgers, now let's talk a little bit about Wesley Fofana. I think Wesley Fofana, in my opinion, is a far more clear-cut situation. Let's have a look at this. Brendan Rodgers confirms both rejected bids for Wesley Fofana. So the two bids that we've given, they've obviously been rejected. And I think they were in the region of 60 million first one, then 70 million the second one, and both have been rejected. Once again, his language has softened from not for sale to not looking to sell. Chelsea continue to push. This is in regards to the recent press conference Brendan Rodgers had. Third bid not expected to be a world record. So not expected to be a world record. Wow. As reported yesterday, CFC hoping for under 80 million still. Remains to be seen if that's enough to test Leicester's resolve. I don't know if anything less than 80 is actually going to do the job. De Jong remains more advanced in a club-to-club sense than Fofana. Leicester still plan to start Fofana against Arsenal on Saturday. Talks continue with Chelsea trying for a move, advanced verbal back and forth to speed up the process. Leicester pretty dismissive with first two bids. I'm actually going to do a watch-along for that, so do tune in for that. Leicester versus Arsenal versus Leicester. I really want to see how Fofana plays. The fact that it's going to be less than 80 million, now I'm a little bit concerned about the Fofana situation because Leicester's made it quite adamant. Nothing less than 80 million will do the job here. Unless, I don't know, we should try and see if we can offload some of our players to Leicester. Leicester wants players. Wesley Fofana, bringing in a defender, I don't know. I mean, Ampadu seems to be out of favour. Let's give Leicester to let's give Ampadu to Leicester. I mean, I want Ampadu to shine in the Premier League, and why not go to Leicester? And I think he will do a job in that back two, back three, midfield, whatever they want to play. I'm just fearful that maybe anything less than 80 million will just be rejected again. And let's not just. This is going to be our third bid. Let's make a serious one and let's try and get this guy. I think 80 million, Leicester would be mad to decline that. At 80 million, if Leicester say no to that, I'd be like, do you know what? Forget about the player, because that's ridiculous amount of money. I always thought it was ridiculous. 70 million was ridiculous amount of money in my sort of calculation, valuation of this particular player. I love the player. It's genuinely a superb talent. But that type of money is mad. But 80 million, if the club is willing to do that, Leicester would be silly not to accept that. And your scouting network is pretty good. You could possibly buy 2 CBs out of that money. And you need to raise funds to buy players. Financially, Leicester's in trouble as well. They've made a loss last season, and they don't want to get into that trend of losing. And generally, Leicester is a selling club. This is one of their biggest way of raising funds. And right now, Wesley Fofana is your most sellable player. Let's face it, 80 million. So, look, we're coming to close off the second match of the Premier League, and I want these transfers to happen ASAP. I'm patient. These are complex stuff, but these players, if they come to Chelsea Football Club, it really, really will change the face of our club, and we will become much better for it. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the 2 big stories that are going on. Let me know. It's the Frenkie De Jong one, which is the biggest one. Let me know how you feel about all of it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content, which will be here for a live tomorrow again. But before that, I'm doing a show with Ryan, a tactical show. So do look out for that. That'll probably premiere early UK morning, and then maybe we'll do a live later on Friday. And obviously, a whole heap of watch-alongs coming during this weekend. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.